Growing up in our family meant living in Emma's shadow. She was the golden child, tall, blonde, effortlessly beautiful. I was the practical one, which was family code for disappointment. Mom always made it clear who her favorite was. Emma has such natural grace, Mom would say, watching my sister twirl in yet another expensive dress. Some people are just born with it. The unspoken message was clear. I wasn't. When I got engaged to David 3 years ago, Mom's reaction was lukewarm at best. "Well, I suppose it's good someone wants to marry you," she said, barely looking up from her magazine. But when Emma announced her engagement to Marcus last month, the entire house exploded with celebration. Finally, Mom squealed, pulling Emma into a dramatic hug. "My beautiful daughter is getting the wedding she deserves." The difference in their reactions cut deep, but I'd learned to expect it. I'd spent 2 years planning my dream wedding. Every detail was perfect: the venue, the flowers, the music. But the centerpiece was my dress. It was a vintage Vera Wang I'd found at an estate sale, absolutely stunning with delicate beadwork and French lace. I'd had it altered to fit perfectly and hidden away something very special in the lining. Emma's engagement was a whirlwind. Marcus was wealthy, handsome, and exactly the kind of man Mom had always imagined for her perfect daughter. But there was something rushed about their relationship that made me uneasy. "We're eloping to Vegas this weekend," Emma announced over dinner. "Small ceremony, just us." Mom was devastated. "But darling, you deserve a big wedding. What about all our friends? What will they think?" "We want something intimate," Emma said, but I caught the look between her and Marcus. Something was off. That's when Emma's eyes landed on my wedding dress hanging in the closet. I was showing Mom the final alterations when Emma walked in. "That's actually pretty," she said, running her fingers over the delicate beadwork. "Vintage Vera Wang, right?" "Yes, I found it at. I want to borrow it." The room went silent. Mom looked between us, clearly uncomfortable but unwilling to disappoint her favorite. "Emma, honey, that's your sister's wedding dress," Mom said weakly. "She won't be using it for months," Emma replied dismissively. "Besides, it'll look better on me anyway." I felt my face burn. "Emma, I can't." "Oh, please. You'll probably gain more weight before your wedding anyway. It might not even fit you then." She laughed, but there was no humor in it. "I'll take good care of it." Mom said nothing. The silence stretched until it became clear no one was going to defend me. "I'll think about it," I managed. The next evening, Emma barged into my room without knocking. "I need the dress. We're leaving for Vegas in the morning." "Emma, please. It's my wedding dress. It means everything to me." She rolled her eyes. "Don't be so dramatic. You'll get it back after the weekend." She opened my closet and pulled out the dress bag. "You'll never fit in it anyway, fatty." The casual cruelty of her words hit me like a physical blow. But instead of fighting, I did something that surprised even me. I walked to my dresser and pulled out the matching veil. "Take this too," I said calmly. "You'll need it for photos." Emma looked suspicious. "Really? Really? I hope you have a beautiful wedding." She snatched the veil without even a thank you and headed for the door. "Thanks. Try not to eat too much ice cream while I'm gone." After she left, I sat on my bed and smiled. Emma had no idea what she'd just taken. The next morning, they flew to Vegas. Emma sent photos throughout the day, getting ready, arriving at the chapel, posing with Marcus. In every photo, she looked stunning in my dress. At 2 p.m. Vegas time, 3 hours before their ceremony, my phone exploded with calls. Emma's name flashed on the screen, but when I answered, all I heard was screaming. "What did you do?" she shrieked. "What the hell did you do to the dress?" "Emma, what's wrong? You sound upset." "The dress. There's something in the lining." The hotel manager called the police. I feigned confusion. "Police? I don't understand." "There are drugs sewn into the dress. They found cocaine packets in the bodice." "Oh my God, Emma. That's terrible. How did—" "You did this," she screamed. "You set me up." "Emma, I would never." The line went dead. 20 minutes later, Mom called, hysterical. "What did you do to your sister?" "She's been arrested. They're saying she was trafficking drugs." "Mom, I have no idea what's happening." Emma borrowed my dress, and— "Don't lie to me. Fix this right now." But I couldn't fix it. And honestly, I didn't want to. You see, Emma didn't know about my job. While she was busy being the family princess, I'd quietly become a federal prosecutor specializing in drug crimes. For the past 6 months, I've been working on a case involving Marcus's family business, a high-end restaurant chain that was actually a front for money laundering and drug distribution. Marcus was small fish, but he was connected to some very big sharks. When Emma announced their sudden elopement, everything clicked. Marcus was running, and he planned to take my naive sister with him. The cocaine packets weren't mine. They were evidence from Marcus's case that I'd carefully documented and placed in the dress lining. My FBI contacts in Vegas were expecting them. Emma spent her wedding night in a Vegas jail cell. Marcus, faced with federal charges and a mountain of evidence, immediately tried to cut a deal by claiming Emma was his unwitting accomplice. She had no idea, he insisted to investigators. Her sister set this whole thing up. But that story fell apart when they searched Marcus's phone and found months of text messages discussing shipments and clean money. Emma might have been naive, but she wasn't innocent. The media loved the story. Local prosecutor's sister arrested in Vegas drug bust dominated headlines for weeks. Emma's mugshot, taken while wearing my wedding dress, went viral on social media. Mom was mortified. How could you let this happen to your own sister? I didn't let anything happen, I replied calmly. Emma made her choices. But you knew. You could have warned her. Warned her about what? That her fiancé was a criminal? I tried to tell you something was off about their relationship, but you were too busy planning their perfect life. Emma was released after 48 hours when it became clear she truly hadn't known about the specific drug packets. But the damage was done. Marcus pleaded guilty to federal charges and was sentenced to 8 years in prison. Their marriage was annulled before they ever made it to the altar. Emma came home humiliated and furious. You destroyed my life, she screamed when she saw me. I'll never forgive you. I saved your life, I replied quietly. Marcus was going to disappear with laundered money and leave you holding the bag. You have spent decades in federal prison. You don't know that. Emma, I literally prosecuted his case. I know exactly what he was planning. For the first time, she looked uncertain. You're lying. I pulled out Marcus's file and showed her the financial records, the surveillance photos, the documented crimes. He wasn't running away with you for love. He was using you as cover while he fled the country with stolen money. Emma's face crumpled as reality hit her. But he said he loved me. Maybe he did, but he loved money more. Mom, who had been silent during this exchange, finally spoke. You're a federal prosecutor? For 3 years now. I specialize in organized crime and drug trafficking. But why didn't you tell us? I looked at my mother, this woman who had spent my entire life making me feel small and worthless. When would I have told you? In between being called the practical one and being told I'd never amount to anything. Mom's face flushed. I never said. You never had to say it directly. Every look, every comment, every time you celebrated Emma's achievements while ignoring mine made it clear how you felt about me. The room was quiet except for Emma's soft crying. I didn't set Emma up to hurt her, I continued. I set up Marcus to stop him from hurting her worse. If she'd married him and moved to his compound in Colombia like he planned, she'd either be dead or in a foreign prison right now. Over the following weeks, the full extent of Marcus's crimes came to light. He'd been planning to fake both their deaths after the wedding and disappear with $12 million in cartel money. Emma would have been murdered on their honeymoon. When Emma learned this, she came to my apartment, not to apologize but to understand. How long have you known? She asked quietly. I've been building the case against his family for 8 months. When you announced your engagement, I started investigating him specifically. And you never thought to warn me? Would you have believed me? Or would you have accused me of being jealous and run straight to Mom? Emma was silent because we both knew the answer. Why did you become a prosecutor? She asked finally. Because I was tired of watching bad people hurt good people and get away with it. Like our family hurt you. I met her eyes. I never said that. You didn't have to. Emma left without another word, but something had changed between us. The dynamic had shifted permanently. Mom tried to restore the old balance by planning a fresh start family dinner, but it felt forced and artificial. Emma was different, quieter, less entitled. And I was different too, no longer willing to be dismissed or overlooked. So what happens now? Mom asked over dessert, clearly uncomfortable with a new reality. Now I continue doing my job, I said simply, protecting people from criminals. And Emma? I looked at my sister, who was pushing food around her plate. Emma decides what kind of person she wants to be moving forward. Emma looked up. I want to learn, she said quietly, about your work, about everything I didn't understand. It wasn't an apology, but it was a start. 6 months later, Emma started volunteering with a victims' rights organization. She never became a different person overnight, but she began to understand that actions have consequences, and that sometimes the people you dismiss are the ones working hardest to protect you. As for my wedding dress, it was evidence in a federal case, so I never got it back. But watching Emma's entitled world crumble and rebuild into something more authentic was worth more than any piece of clothing. Sometimes the best revenge isn't hurting someone. It's saving them from themselves, even when they don't deserve it. And sometimes being the practical one means you're the only one strong enough to do what needs to be done.